Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, you're back with True Talks with Ofe. We seem to have had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we're back on track. I'd like to bring on caller 352. Abudua Boye, caller 352.
Abudua Boye,
Ashe. Good evening, Ian. How are you, Abuato?
I'm doing good. I had to put fires out and remove the dead flowers, but I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Okay, very good, very good. You're online. We just had a little technical difficulty, and
Okay.
I want to bring on another caller that called in as well. But you have a comment, something you wanted to say. I saw you raise your hand because we're just getting now into the meat of the discussion concerning.
I'll wait a little bit. Let me wait a little bit.
Okay, because we were talking about spiritual abuse. Let me bring on the next caller. Caller from 111, and I'm not sure who's on the line. You're on the air with True Talks with Ofe.
Hello. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Well, I have a comment, and I understand that the sister was before me, so I'll just listen and know when I have a comment and a question for you.
Okay, well, you can go ahead because she's holding on for a spell herself. So you can go ahead. What is the comment and then the question? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was reading through the verbiage on the page, and you posed a question to the reader, and the question was, and I'm paraphrasing here, why are there so many restrictions on women?
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about the protocol and the roadblocks and the different things that come up for women. And I want you to know that I've begun an intensive research process for myself, an independent study on the life of the Black African woman since memorial. And I'm not even halfway through, but I've spent a kegel of money on books and periodicals, just everything I could get my hands on. And I will tell you that everything, do you hear me, that has anything to do with life, spirituality, ritual, process, comes from the belly of that Black African woman. She is it. She is everything. She is the creatrix. She is the all, the angel, the lady, the love, she is everything. And I said all that to say this. That is why so much work is put into slowing her down, because if you leave her to her own devices, she will rise up above everybody. And she will be a leader. She will lead and guide and teach. And so that's why everybody, to me, takes a turn at trying to put up a roadblock for that woman, because she is the natural leader. And I know I'm getting kind of passionate here, but I wanted to say that. And so my question for you is this. I having done this research that I'm doing right now, there are things that I know about this Black woman that I never knew before. How much time should we be putting into this Black African woman knowing her true history, because people just don't teach it to her?
Well,
say that again.
I think
I just want to get clarity. Can she repeat that?
I think it deserves all of our attention, and that's why, even though people don't want to hear the bitter truth, men, as soon as we start talking, they think, well, we want to be sexist, we want to be feminist, we want to be racist, whatever it is, we want to discriminate, we want to do this. But it's not about any of those things. It's not about, trying to bring the man down. It's about helping the woman and helping everybody to see the true aspect, the true glory of the woman, and to put the woman in a position where she belongs. Now, let me give you a very good example. In our tradition that we practice, Lukumi, and we have various forms. Lukumi, we have traditional African, we have Candomblé, we have Macumba, we have Yumba, we have Shango Baptist, we have a whole bunch of variations that go with this same tradition that we call Ifa. Okay? And in it, the woman is like a workhorse. Okay? And I'm talking blatantly because you see women with swollen legs, you know, working.
Okay, my hand raised now.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to touch a little bit on what she said and a little bit what you said to Iya. And give me a second so I can, like, wind it down. Okay, first of all, what people have failed to understand is the beginning of human race. Scientists have proven that you have 3 types of strands of DNA. One from your mother, one from your father, and one from the original mother, which is Eve, which was a black woman out of Africa. Okay, that's the true Eve. She was black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
Through time, you know, you go in certain areas, your skin going to get light, your skin going to get dark, your eyes is going to get slant, your eyes are not. But each and every person that walks this earth has a DNA strand of a black woman from Africa. Okay. And they don't believe it, they can go take the DNA test and find out. Or they can Google it on Discovery Science and find out what's the true face of Eve, where they did this test. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and once upon a time, women were considered as oracles, you know, the oracle, that they came to, men come to for advice. And then it became wise women. But somewhere in there, when the birth of Christianity, the birth of men wanting to be women, they got to destroy your image. They got to destroy your power. They got to make you the carpet. They got to make you the rug. So this way, you will not stand up. You will submit like a dog. You know, man's best friend, the dog, he submits. Okay? That's what they have to get you to do, by destroying you mentally, by brainwashing, by getting you. And that's when the book, that good Holy Bible, see, that Holy Bible, most men quickly want to say, oh, I want a woman like Eve. She know how to submit. Excuse my language, Eve got an emotional, depressed problem, because the book also talk about incest. Okay, we won't go there. But all that, you know, institutionalized religion have pushed women to be nothing. We're not even third-class citizens, okay? The black man is third-class citizen. We're not even third-class citizens, okay? And if you look at any of the institutional religions that have come about through your kings and queens and your governments and your authorities and your ego-tripping men with their dogmatic documentations, you will see all the women that are involved in Islam, all the women that is involved in Christianity, all the women that are in any of those religions where they have this documentation that tells women that you're nothing, and that's BS. Because no religion, any religion that don't have a woman as the head, is a religion that ain't worth practicing. Because man cannot give birth. Now, in our religion, in this way of faith that we practice, okay, that a palm board that man sits down, when that man, that old Babalawa sits down on the floor, that a palm board, that's the womb. Odu is the womb. That's why when he goes through the ceremony, he has to be introduced or touch or receive the womb. We don't have to do that. And see, that's where they have that problem of dealing with women, because we can do things that they cannot do.
Even though women don't have to do that, it has been so that women have been somewhat incomplete in their eyes. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. They say we're incomplete to brainwash you, to manipulate the woman's mind. That's how it is.
Can I interject something?
Wait a minute, because them themselves can't reach the Batu here on Aye themselves. Their pedestal is so high, them themselves cannot reach it. That's why the Lukumi and the Santeria people, they created a Lofi, okay, which is a male, which now they say is Odu, which is a womb that lives in a can, aluminum can. Okay, that's another topic. But they say women are incomplete. They try to make us incomplete. Mm-hmm. They try to make women incomplete. And women, if they don't know no better, they go on and they believe that they are inadequate. They are incomplete.
Okay, but you see, I have a comment to make, but Iya, you had something to say? You wanted to say something?
Well, that was me. That was me, and my name is Ocean.
Ocean. Okay. Thank you.
What I wanted to say
something? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do, and I'll be quick. I wanted to say this, and I've read so many books, and I want to say this. After about 7 years and spending a good amount of money on books, and I plan to spend even more on these books concerning this Black African woman, it's leading me to understand this, that all religions come from the belly of that Black African woman, that kinky-headed woman, and that all men, contingent upon their political agenda, have interpolated her ritual, her spiritual science, her symbols, because what I am finding is that in every religion, you can see that Black woman. And, for example, in the Bible, the sister was just saying they want us to think that we are not whole. Here's what the man did. The woman is whole, and the African woman told you that's what holy means. And that's why in the Bible it says, hallowed would be thy name. Hallowed, we're talking about a vagina here. In order to be holy, you've got to have a womb. That's why it says, hallowed would be thy name. Thy kingdom come. You've got to give birth to people to create a nation. See, it took me a long time to be able to understand these interpolations, and I want to drop this on you guys. I want to drop this. When I came into the knowledge of this one, I told everybody, and I couldn't understand why men folk would get angry with me. But I started studying symbols and these connotations and denotations and the various words. And so remember now, it was Jesus who said, hallowed would be thy name. And when I studied that word, I found out that the letter J is very new. And it is a derivative or a relative of the letter I. So what was this so-called Jesus' name? Isu, Isis, Isu, however you want to say it. But he never existed, because guess who it was? It was that Black woman. It was that Black woman. Do you see what I'm saying? And so if everything you chase down, Albert Schweitzer said, I don't care where you start, but when you get to the beginning of it, you get to the womb of a Black woman. So I want to encourage all my sisters to keep your head up and know this, people used to laugh at me when I used to say this, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't lie to you. Scientists, I said this 7 years ago, and it's on the walls of ancient Kemet. And when you study these ancient African religions, you are finding that the black woman at one time was self-fecundating, and a group of very high-end scientists said that everybody came from a group of black women. A group of black women. That's it. And if you look at that documentary with the mitochondrial Eve, they're showing that black woman by herself with a female baby. What are they saying here? The you know what? The woman has two breasts because she always gave birth to two girls. And they said man came approximately 250,000 years after the female, that black African kinky-headed woman, was walking this earth by herself. So I say all that to say
that's why they rewrote the Bible.
Every male is a degenerate female. There's no such thing as just a man. He is just a different kind of female. He is a degenerate female. That's what I wanted to say. But you, black woman, are holy. Hallowed would be thy name. They're talking about you. I realize that now.
The Holy Grail is a woman. It's female. The Holy Grail cup is the woman's womb.
Yes. That circle, that circle that they talk about, that circle of life, that is the womb. That's why they couldn't, when they anthropomorphized Jesus and made him a man, a white man, and when they gave the woman the issue of blood, she said, if I could just touch the hem of his garment. See, he don't have a vagina, but if you research him or Rahim, it will take you back to vagina. So you know, the gig is up, and we are understanding now that it is that marvelous, magical, black African woman that is responsible for everything we do today. So if we're going to say there's a God, it has to be a black woman.
It is a woman. God, Olodumare is female. It is female. Because in the name, the word womb is there in the name. So it is a woman. But I want to quickly, you see, the Bible also, the New Testament is Greek, is Greek influence. So if you understand Greek philosophy, they were body boys. Okay, they didn't like women anyway. So our Western, our Western government everything is based off of the Greek philosophy. So that's why you're going to have a lot of dislike towards women, making women, the rug. The women we let the men do because we feel like that's what makes them. We don't want to bruise their ego because we don't like the things that they say to us. But they couldn't have the things that they have if it wasn't for us. Because every man that's walked this earth was born from a womb of a woman. Every man. Now does he come from a test tube? But they rewrote the Bible for a reason. And they said the Bible was rewritten. It was written, and they took out and put in what they wanted because it was to have control over the woman.
I'd like
the man with a womb. A man with a womb. Okay.
I'd like to recite a poem I wrote called The Original Sin. And it's about the woman, the black woman. There's a general act of disrespect against women all over the world. And each woman needs to speak up and let her story be told. Anytime something is mentioned in the defense of women, you hear a whole lot of ranting from the jealous and angry men. Who is man to tell a woman what she can and cannot do? Isn't it not the woman who first fed you, clothed and cared for you? Who is man to tell a woman not to speak out her truth? The men who do that should kick themselves with their own army boots. Women are sick and tired of hearing people referring to God as a man. Women are tired of being blamed by men who wanted to give Eve another hand. That is why they made up that bullshit about Eve in the Garden of Eden. When will we women get off our backs and take our rightful places and demand that the men acknowledge us as progenitors of all races? When will people stop believing things that are obviously made up and open up their eyes to recognize that it's time for them to stop accusing, using, and abusing women every chance they get and not giving credit to women for making sure their needs are being met? Women are the creators, the nurturers, and maintainers of the people of earth. The woman is the one who is in mortal danger every time she gives birth. Yet the thanks she gets is to be humiliated and treated like she is not even a human being, being misjudged by the mindset that she committed the original sin. That is where we have a major problem, because everybody indoctrinated by that mindset at some point in their life. You can say everybody, almost all people in the world got indoctrinated. Look how many people we have that grew up with that mindset about the woman being the portal of evil. And this is the same thing they talk in regards to our great mothers, okay, who they call witches. They call them witches and all this type of stuff. And they even call women witches, okay, because of the ability to do things that men cannot do. Some of these things are what they call supernatural, that women can do, okay? And because men cannot do them as easily and as fluently as a woman, then it becomes something derogatory.
Well, I also want to say, you know, very good. I love that poem. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you.
When she mentioned also the Bible, let's go to Genesis. Let's take Genesis for a second. In Genesis, in her own book, if anybody really read it and look at it, woman saw the face of God, man didn't. God put man to sleep. When man woke up, the woman was already standing over him looking at him. So a woman knows the secret, know what God looks like, know God, okay? Man doesn't. So that could be a form of envy, jealousy, but it's like your poem said. They got to stop. We got to stop. They got to stop. You know,
see, well, the women too are having a problem with it themselves. The women are having a problem with it. You see, women are having a problem understanding their position, understanding that they don't need to be in subordinate positions.
And they also send women to discredit other women.
Yes. And
you know, we had a few incidents on Facebook, you know, where women come watch dogs, you know, the men send them to destroy other women.
Yes. But you see, anytime you see women acting in this unity, it's because a man put her up to it. You see? And that woman needs to be straightened out. She's not going to do it on her own, you know, and that means that she has not asserted herself to know who she really is. Otherwise, she will tell the man, no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that.
Mhm.
You know.
But then he'll manipulate her. You know, he'll manipulate her. Like, if you love me, you know you be about me. You know, you will go and do blase, blase, blase. You know what I mean? It's a lot of manipulation, a lot of brain.
That's well, you know, I frankly think polygamy is to blame for that. I mean, because the polygamy is one-sided. I mean, the woman can't have as many men as she want to marry. Suppose she's the one who's capable of taking care of.
Oh, but there is an Odu Iya, that says that a woman can have more than one man.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Which Odu is that? Yeah, you know, I'm giggling because, you know, the men probably say, what?
Well, you know that makes sense because the woman has the superior genitalia. Can I say this? I asked a group of people. There was a group, and they were advocates for polygamy. And so I asked the guys this question. And they hung up on me and never answered the question. And here was the question I asked them. I said, what happens if a guy has 3 wives and he becomes impotent? What do they do for sex? And they would not answer the question. They said that I was trying to start trouble and that I was a troublemaker. But you see,
that's a valid question. That is a valid question because,
that's a valid question.
Mm-hmm. The vagina never stops working. It never stops working. I don't care if a woman to me, the vagina is still in good working order and condition, ready to go. So that's how you know that polygamy is not natural. You see, polygamy is something that happens because of war, man-made war. And I want to let you guys know this. In my research, I'm finding that black women ran this earth. They never encroached upon people's territory. Okay? They never had wars for aggression. They never had wars for aggression, only for security purposes. Okay? And so I feel, and I want to know how you two ladies feel, I feel like the only hope that we have in humanity is to put the black woman back in her high place. And I'm telling you why I'm saying that black woman. Because she is the only person that can rule without being racist, prejudiced, misogynist, hateful. You understand what I'm saying? She can rule and give favor to everyone. No one else can do it. What do you guys think?
That's true. No, I absolutely agree with you. Yes, I believe that. And I think also, I think it was last year, when they came out with the Odu from, both Cuba and Africa, where they was talking about the Iyanifas, the woman, the importance of the woman, but nobody paid attention to what Ifa was saying. And Ifa was saying, hey, y'all got to put the woman up front. You can't do that. You can't have. And what they did was totally opposite of what Ifa said. Just totally continue to abuse women, kidnap girls, sell them off like they're sheep, and whatnot. But go ahead.
If we do the research and teach the black woman who she truly is, because it's in her Akashic memory, we just need to have her revisit it. You will find that the law comes from the mama. That's what ma'at means. Law. At means law. Atlanta was the law of the black woman. Atlantis, that ancient culture, that was all black women. That's why an attorney is at. Ma'at means the law of the mother, because the mother can only give law because she loves you. You should only receive law from someone who loves you.
It's an infinity energy, right?
Right, and that's why your mother and your grandmothers told you never allow people to reprimand or spank your children who don't love them. Unless they do it out of what?
Nobody
Anger,
will love your children like you love them.
Right, that's why ma'at, and that's why law, ma'at, it comes from the mama. That's what it means, mother's love, mother's correction. So I understand that it's that black woman that's got to be put back in her high place for this earth to be harmonious again. That's the only hope for Glow Ray. That's the only hope is that black woman. And I want to tell you guys, I take a lot of heat for this.
Right. I think a lot of women have to also become comfortable in their skin and realize that they don't need to have a crutch. And see, a lot of women, they believe what the man said because they need that male crutch instead of the other way around. You understand? It's really the other way around. The man needs the woman as a crutch, and not the woman needs the man as a crutch.
But they've been indoctrinated as that.
You know something? I always felt that men have their strengths. Men have their strengths, and when I say strength, I mean physical strength. Because I would rather see a man pick up a box and put it over there than me do it. You understand? I need my back for something else, not to pick boxes up and move it.
I agree with you. Ashe.
But you know what has happened? Through the male doctrine, through the male ego, and through all their wars and all their little BS that they do as a cause, it has caused the woman to have to go out in the streets and work jobs to take care of her children. And some of those jobs that she has to learn to do is to drive a tractor trailer truck, to learn how to dig ditches, to learn how to, do a man's job, and then come home and be a mom, be a mother to her children. But she has to work those jobs, in order to put over her head. So, she turns around and she's going to look at the man and says, okay, so what I got you here for?
Okay, well,
Can you refresh my mind?
I found some very interesting statistics today. Please excuse my dog that lives next door.
Okay.
He's very loud, but I can hear him in here. Anyway, I found a bit of humor on the statistics of women in businesses. And some guy by the name of John runs more business corporations more than women. Everybody that named John runs a big corporation. And the woman is there in the middle. Imagine the man is doing a pencil pushing job. I mean, a really menial job. When I say menial, he's a big executive. He doesn't have to do anything but give orders. And then, at the same time, that is the woman's job. We're the ones supposed to be giving the orders. That's our job, because we know how to organize stuff. We know how to put things in order. We know where this goes, that goes, that goes. If we didn't know that, we wouldn't be able to run a house. We wouldn't be able to raise children from an infant up to adulthood. You see?
It's natural.
The woman knows all of these things, and it comes natural. But the
since
point
you mentioned
that
the corporation,
the point you made, Ayaba, that the women are diviners, it's natural for them to be the oracle.
Right.
It's natural for us, but yet it says, why is it every man now is a priest? Every man is an owl, and you hardly find any women that are doing it. Hardly.
Yeah. The role has changed. See, that's what I'm saying. Somewhere along the line, the role of man and woman has changed. They flipped. They switched. You understand? But I want to say something about the corporation real quick. Coca-Cola has got the idea. Coca-Cola been putting out a campaign called 5 by 20. 5 by 20. And 5 by 20 campaign is to have 5 million women by 2020 CEOs of their own business, global. They're helping women to be business owners. global. Coca-Cola Company. So they know that women rule. They know.
And they know that the day is coming because the female is self-sufficient. I mean, genetically.
Right. Yes.
And they know they're looking into the future now. You guys don't take this lightly. They know that the female is going to be the nucleus of the population. And I'm going to tell you guys this, believe me. Do you know who is the most plentiful individual on this earth right now?
We're listening.
There are 5 times as many black women as there is any other person on this earth.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Woo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
and you have
they just don't want you to know.
Too. Yeah.
They just don't want you to know that, because if you get that down in your spirit, and your Akashic begins to come in agreement with it, you will rise again. Although you are going to rise again, but it thing just becomes infectious. You see what I'm saying? And insipid. And here's the thing: we need to create sisterhoods, because we need for black women to be kinder and gentler to one another. I'm not saying don't be that to everybody else, but I'm saying they have told us that our men are in jail and we only have a few and we've got to compete for the few we have, and so we're mean to one another because of that. That's what I find. And so I found the best man.
I found the best man. Any woman can get that man. Any woman. All she needs is AAA, an unlimited credit card, and a good car. That's the best man.
Okay. Traveling.
She ain't got to compete.
Traveling. You know what? But wait a minute. No, you're right on point. I wonder if you know how exact you are, because this woman is originally a tricker, a globalist. That's why she's the regional woman. Regional. This earth is her playground. So you are exactly right. And I say, and I'm practicing this myself, whenever I see my sisters, wherever they are, even if they don't speak back to me, I say hello to them, and I try to smile, no matter how bad I'm feeling.
I even tell them how good they look. I even tell them how good their hair looks.
Yes.
Very good. Yes. Very good. That's right. That's right.
I even tell them, I'll tell them, I say, oh, you look good today. You know?
Yes.
Yes.
I might be lying, but I'm telling them something nice.
Well, I'm sincere with what I say to them, but I also want them to know there is no competition here. A lot of the men that you think you have other men. So leave that alone.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Right. So stop hating and being mean-spirited. You know, we've got to stop that.
Yeah.
It needs to be a sisterhood.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I'd like to mention a very good book that speaks about the greatness of women from times of antiquity. It's entitled The Sibyls.
Oh, yes.
Of Namiwaka.
Yes.
It'll tell you women were the oracle people. They went to the women. They went to the. There was a temple on every corner. A temple.
That's right.
Before the Greeks took. There was a temple on every corner that you went to, and to the women to get advice.
Okay.
And you know what they had various names for them, but one of the names for them was the Sacred Afro Spiritual.
Wow.
And they called them the night birds. And what I found out was that birds are very spiritual and very sacred. And they say night birds fly by the light of the moon, and that heaven is their home. When they say night bird, they talk about that black woman.
And this is why in the beginning I spoke about the bird that belongs to Orisha Odu. Okay, but when they talk about the bird and why they symbolize women in connection with birds, this is like something really, really old. And us even to wrap our spirits around it, they say, women, they actually, some of us can fly. And it sounds weird to some people. I mean, people who don't too much believe in spirituality and, the higher self and believe in all the other things that are invisible. But I know that many sisters out there that they know they dreamt themselves from how many times flying in the air. Okay?
Every inspiration that I get inspiration from black women. Black women are so powerful, and I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is something on the inside of them that needs to resurrect itself to get things back in balance again.
Well, see, in this way of life, people don't realize it, but the Orisha is in the womb, it's in the belly, not in the head, in the belly, in the womb.
Yeah.
That's what the Orisha is. That's where everything, all the forces enter. When you sit there and you look at the chakras and it enter in through the womb, through the vagina, into the belly, into the womb, and then up and out, not out and down.
That's that Kundalini energy right there. It's only it's you know what? I'll go on a tangent here, but that Kundalini energy, it's only coming through one person and through one portal, and that's through that black vagina. But I want to ask you guys, is there some more books that you can refer me to regarding the Orisha and Ofe, something that I can get my hands on through Amazon?
Yeah, there are. Well, you would definitely want to read the one by Deirdre Badejo. It's called Oshun Segise, The Elegant Deity.
Okay, what's the title of that one again?
Oshun, which is Osun. Segese, Seegesi. Okay? And it's the elegant deity of wealth, power, and femininity. It's a very good book.
The elegant deity
of wealth, power, and femininity. Okay?
And the name of the author?
The author is Deirdre, Dieudrebadejo.
B-A-V as in Victor?
D as in, don't say Victor. E-J-O. So it's D-I-E-D-R-E, Deirdre, L, there's a L, Badejo, B-A-D-E-J-O.
Okay, I've got it.
And of course,
I'm going to look for this one tonight.
The civil book is by Mama Zogbe. I think it's a wonderful book.
It is. I've got those, and I have some that are really old. You guys,
do you have Black Woman in Antiquity by Ivan Van Sertima?
No, but I've listened to some lectures, but I'll check that one out.
Black Women in Antiquity. It's very good. It's an old book.
Okay.
I mean, when I got it, it was $12.50.
Okay. I'll check that out.
This is 1989. But yeah, that one is Black Woman in Antiquity. That's another one. And if you want to talk about women from a different perspective, but that would take you into who are the Black Asians. Okay? You can get this one called Black Asians. The Asian people that are black.
Okay.
Okay? You can
now, I've done a lot of research in that area, and I want you guys to know when you pull up those depictions of the women on the walls of Angkor Wat, you will see that they are African, pure African, with braids and thick lips and wide noses and fat butts. The women who built Angkor Wat were black African women. Trust me. When you look at it, there's no doubt. When you see their faces.
I would like to talk more with you about these things, because it sounds you're really doing some research, and it really has empowered you very much to empower other women.
Yes.
To actually begin to know and understand their own power. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I want them to know my dream is for the black woman everywhere, every crack and crevice of this earth, to know exactly who she is. See, because I think if every black woman knew that she is the original being, that she once walked this earth, only her, female, there was nobody else. And people used to laugh at me when I said that 7 years ago. But now scientists are coming forward saying that they say the DNA takes them back to a group of black African women. We always knew that. That's why everybody's so mad at us.
Can I ask you a question? Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you believe in past life, like the spirit never dies. We just go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I agree with
you.
One
incarnation to the next, and we go on and. Okay. Because, and I've never told anybody this, but from memory, I have an incarnation where there were secrets that women could do and get pregnant without sleeping with a man.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's true.
Like
we know it now.
Conception. That idea of immaculate conception.
Yes, that is true. You are exactly right. Okay. You are exactly right. It is true. It's called the Abbas theory.
I had it from memory is because I was there when they were doing it, and it has a lot to do with the sun. That's all I can say.
Yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness, you're right on. You're so on point. Don't make me jump up and run out of my house. You're so on point. That is exactly. That is why they would tell. That's why. Let me show you how the Bible's been interpreted. When it says, "Christ in you is your hope for glory," what it should say is, "Christ ani is your only hope for glow ray." The glow of the sun's rays will create life in you. And the white man changed it to Christianity, but it is Christ ani. And I heard some brothers, Christ ani. And I heard some brothers, they said they were teaching, and this brother said, well, you see here in the hieroglyphs, you see the woman, and she is giving salat to the god Ani, and the god he is standing there. And I said, ho, 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 ho. When did Ani become male? And you know what they do to me? And you know what a guy called me, excuse my expression, called me a bitch, and they they just got really ignorant.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. These people are fighting tooth and nail for this black woman not to know who she is. All of these religions are her stolen rituals and practices.
Yes.
Every last one. I don't care what it is.
Yes.
I don't care if it's Kalima. Listen to me. I don't care if it's Judaism. The Shekinah glory is nothing but the Kundalini energy of the black woman. I understand all of this now. And so people don't want you to know that because they are afraid. You see that memory that you have? They're afraid that you understand when you read the Bible and it says, in my Father's house there are many mansions, that you in your Akashic memory will say, no, in my mother's house there are many dimensions. Not mansions, dimensions. Meaning ages. And I want to let you guys know something very important. If you don't remember anything I said, please remember this. In the Bible, when Jesus says, I will be with you until the last day of the age. And the follower says, well, what should we do at that time? And he says to him, go to the house of the man with the water, with the picture of water. See, that's interpolated because what they're really saying is this age of Pisces is over. The two fish, that's why they say Jesus had two fish. That's why when you see two fish, they're talking about the age of Pisces. What we are in now is the age of Aquarius, and I got news for you. When Napoleon went to Egypt and he shot down the zodiacal disc, which has the dimensions, okay? When it says, in my mother's house there are many dimensions. When they shot it down, what they will not show you, you can get online and you won't be able to see it. You have to go to Paris to see it in person. But I was able to get a glimpse of it in a book that was 100 years old. Aquarius is a black, nappy-headed woman. It's not a man. When they shut down that disc, when you look at Aquarius, Aquarius is a black woman. This is the age of the black woman right now. This is the age of Aquarius. So black women need to understand this is your time, mama. This is your time. Well, this is your era. This is your age.
Well, it's just like the when you look up in the sky, when you look up in the night sky, you're in the womb of you're in the womb. That's the womb.
Yes, it is.
The universe is a womb, and you got levels of wombs, and people don't understand it. It's just like Joseph Campbell said, mythology lies in the womb of knowledge, the womb. In order for you to understand mythology, you have to come from that womb. You have to seek you got to taste the water of that womb in order to understand mythology.
Didn't they try to tell us that? Your ancient mother showed us that when they have a depiction of Nut and the hieroglyphics. And what does she do? Yes. She swallows the moon at night, and the sun comes out of her vagina in the morning. You see what I'm saying? As above, so below. As the universe gives birth to those two daughters, the sun and the moon, the black woman on earth gives birth to two black daughters. And that's where a nation is. Nation means serpent.
Well, hold on
serpent is the female.
Hold on a second. Let me make this point. You brought to mind something very important. I remember Mayor Angelou giving a speech about when she went to Africa and she was, among the African women and everything. And she had to bathe, women were bathing together and stuff. And they started to weep, and when they saw her, they started crying. And why were they crying? Because they felt that she had never had a child. Okay? But also to bring to mind something very important that goes on within the Yoruba tradition that I've heard. And I would like somebody to correct me if I'm wrong or to, verify, if I'm correct, that when you have females, they don't count you as being worthy to have female children. They would rather you have a male child because the male child, is who inherits everything. Even a lot of the mindset, how people are now, they would leave their inheritance for the man. I mean, and if you look at, I don't want to base this off of Nigerian.
Well, they do that in Western society too.
If you look, but if you look at the movies, you'll see that it's always the husband dies, and when the husband dies, who gets the property? You think his wife gets it, or his brother?
His brother, or
his brother comes in.
Do you know why that is?
Kicks the wife on the street.
Can I tell you guys why that is?
Or he wants to sleep with the wife. I'm like, oh my God. I'm listening, but these are the things that all these things we have to break this cycle of thinking like that and rebel against these things. It'd be like, no, that's not the way it's going to go.
And I want to say this too about initiation. The women should not allow the men to tell them that they cannot initiate anybody into Ifa or Ogun or any of the or even Palo. What are you talking about? That woman have more ashe than that man to give. If she knows the ritual, she can give. She can give birth. That woman gives birth. That man cannot give birth. He gotta have a woman on the side of him in order for him to give birth.
That's right. If you tell them you're going to do a initiation or something, be like, oh, no, they're going to tell a person, no, they can't do that. They're a woman. Like, what? What do you mean?
Can I tell you guys why they do that?
You're a man. How can you birth? How can you give birth?
Let me explain to you guys why they do that.
We got this long discussion in a group, and then people got really angry with us, and then I had to kick some people out of my group, and today some of them don't even talk to me anymore. Matter of fact, it's okay, but it's all right.
And you know why they do that? Here's why they do that. Because unbeknownst to you, black woman, you already give birth to him. He can't carry on his name without you, but then you have the nerve to be magical and don't even know it.
Oh no!
That's why.
See, I want to say I want to interject right there what you just said about the name. Let me tell you, I make sure that my daughter, father, I tell him, she don't need your last name. I got a last name. She will have my last name. That's anything you can change your last name to mine. I'm not losing mine.
Okay. Now what you did right there?
No, because my name is just
fear.
As strong and powerful as his name. I'm sorry.
That's the fear. That's the fear right there. Mm-hmm. You want to know why they do it? Because if you take ownership of your own seed, see, because this culture has got the man thinking he has a seed. He does not have a seed. He has an electrical current with some of his DNA in there. But you have the seed. When you were born with every egg you were ever going to have. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is when you take control of your seed, of your womb, it leads him out. And what does he become?
Well,
he becomes an administrator. In other words, he needs to do what you say.
Thank you.
And what you say is only going to be for the good of everybody. That's the problem. They think matriarchy means henpecked, but matriarchy means inclusive, while patriarchy means exclusive. They exclude people in patriarchy, but matriarchy includes everybody because the woman gives birth. Do you guys know
everybody?
The
woman gives birth to everybody.
Exactly.
Gives birth to everybody. She don't just give birth to herself.
Exactly.
So, let me say this the funny, because my ex, when I made Ifa, my ex he was he's a Babalao, and he made Ifa like 18 years before me. But when I made Ifa, and everything was okay, pick out his chest like a proud rooster. But when he asked me what was my Odu, what my Odu Ifa, when I told him my Odu, you should have seen this man. He became a monster. He turned around, and his words were, I am a Western man. How do I supposed to handle? Your Odu is way up here, and my Odu is way down here. Wow.
And so what?
You know, women. Let's talk for a minute.
We got a divorce. We got a divorce.
But wait. What were you supposed to do about that? You
I
supposed
guess
to lower your
it was a conspiracy. Maybe a woman made a conspiracy. I don't know.
Look a minute. Let me tell you what she was supposed to do about that. She was supposed to shove it under the rug and pretend like, oh, honey, you're the highest and you're the top. Oh, how high do you want me to jump to get to you, honey? That's what she was supposed to do.
Ridiculous.
Well, you know, I try to stay quiet.
That's what the women do. That's what the women do. That's what the women do.
You know, I didn't volunteer. I didn't volunteer the Odu. I didn't volunteer. You know, I waited until he come and ask me, and he's like, wow, oh, but it's the phrase that he said it that made me really look. I am a Western man. How do I supposed to handle that? Your Odu way up here and my Odu way down here.
Wow.
And he threw himself on the floor and do ballet. I said to him,
you did the right thing.
But wait a minute. You see, I try to be the woman. I try to be the understanding black woman. I said, no, baby, you don't have to do that. I said,
give me a moment. I'd like to ask, both of you, of course, when it comes to spiritual things that men do to women, and I'm talking about this in all seriousness because first let me go back and say this. When I first apprenticed with a spiritual tata, with somebody that's into spirituality in Palomayombe, I noticed something that I didn't believe before. I had a wrong concept, but I would see more men coming to get readings on women, bringing things like their underwear, their dirty underwear, their piece of their hair, whatever they can get, their photo, whatever, and saying they want to do what? Control. Listen to me. This is nothing that nobody told me. This is what I witnessed with my own eyes. Okay? They want to control the women while they have other women. And they don't want this woman to say nothing, even no matter what she does, no matter what he does, they want the woman to be still. Okay?
Wow.
I scratch my head, because, the stereotype is that, the women are always trying to fix a man. In the Caribbean, that's what they say, the women, when they want a man to marry them, they go and fix them and all this type of thing, right? And I learned the complete opposite, that it was the men that were going to fix the women, and they were fixing them for control purposes. Now in Ifa and Orisha life, a lot of complaints come about things like that to me. I'm a diviner. People come to me for readings all the time. Yeah. And it's always about somebody done put some spell on somebody else and have them in a mummified, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yeah, okay, you want me to jump up there and get that? Okay, yeah, okay. Whatever they say, they cannot say nothing. They can't do anything but follow it. So the question is this: how do women ascertain these kinds of powers that we know we have latent in our whole being? How do we counteract those spells. Because
by talking to
A
other
lot
women.
of women. Wait a minute. It has to be that a lot of women are under some spells while they're going along with all the BS that the men are creating and saying, "Oh, it's okay." And only the couple, the few that speak up, they get called names like B's and H's and whatever. Okay.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
And I say H's like real ignorant.
I've been called
people.
a lot of
Not
names.
W's, H's. I've been called a lot of names.
Hey, you know what? You know what, ladies? We women like you, me, all of us, we need to have more of these conversations, and we need to let the woman know the power is in your belly. Like the sister said, you have the only portal. You have the only portal for that Kundalini energy. Learn how to use it. Learn how to do transcendental meditation. Learn how to utilize your quiet time and use your mind's eye to put that in its proper place.
Yeah, and not only that, women, we're naturally have that intuitive, thing, and we got to trust.
The intuition.
Yeah, we got to trust that into. You got to trust that. You got to trust that.
Now, okay.
The women don't trust that.
Listen, talking about intuition. Of recent, we were, and I say myself and Ayaba, we're under attack because of, things like this that we discussed.
I'm thinking that's my name
so
now.
We're under attack, and one of the Babas gonna say, "Oh, these women are out of control because they don't have any husbands." I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's exactly what they say.
Yes,
my God. So
they did say that.
Conspiracy to get us married, and making words, they say we're old women. So they were like, how are we going to marry off these old women? How are we going to marry these old women?
Yeah. You know how I shut them up? You know how I shut them up? I tell them my man is 15 years younger than me.
Oh, honey, don't even start this off, okay?
Okay.
Ifa told me, you cannot be with an old man. You cannot be with an old man because if he gets any of your womb, he's going to drop dead. Boom. So all y'all old men stay away from me. I can tell y'all right now on national radio.
I think if the woman, she uses what's natural to her. If she would just automatically clean herself every day, it wouldn't allow too much of that to get too close to her or whatnot.
There you go, my sister.
Yeah.
Can you speak on how these women should be cleaning themselves? As much as you can.
Something every day. You can clean with a rag. You can clean yourself with an apple. Clean the food. You can put, like, you sit down at your dinner table or in a restaurant. Put a napkin and put your food there. Put a little food on the napkin. Fold it up when you go outside. Brush yourself and clean yourself and put it underneath the tree and keep moving. But I think if a woman, if she just cleans
that's beautiful.
herself every day with something.
I just want to ask you one question. Let's say you're giving me instructions on how to clean with an apple. Can you please just go through really quick how to clean myself with an apple?
Just take an apple. You have an apple, and you know how you brush lint off your clothes? You're going to take that apple and you're going to pretend you're brushing lint, but you're actually brushing the negatives, the evil, the negativity, the garbage. You're taking that apple and you're brushing down. You're brushing yourself. You brush your head back. You brush the back of your neck with that apple, and you turn it around and you brush down, and even brush and clean off where your uterus. And your back.
And if you're in a place that you have a little bit of privacy, you can put that apple right between your leg and brush that vagina too. Brush it all the way down. Yeah. Brush all underneath your feet. Brush it out.
Underneath your feet. And then you brush underneath your feet. I have taken coins, quarters, nickels and dimes, and I have taken it and clean myself with it and threw it in the middle of the street. Now, if you go there and you want to pick up coins that you found in the streets, go ahead. I just cleaned myself. So you pick up whatever I'm throwing. But I have taken coins and just cleaned myself with those coins, and brush up the bottom of my feet, and I just throw them out in the streets and keep going.
Anything,
pennies,
just about
bread,
anything that
slice
is
of bread,
anything that has energy, because plants have energy. Anything that is made from something that is made naturally.
Grass, you can use grass, flowers, leaves,
a branch or something, and just brush yourself. Like cool.
And break it.
I got dirt on my clothes. Let me just brush it off real quick. Boom, 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 boom. You throw it out.
Or you can get you a red handkerchief. Get you a red handkerchief and get any body splash that you like, and spray your handkerchief and leave your meeting, leave whatever, and brush that lint off you and shake that handkerchief out, fold it back up, and put it in your purse and keep moving.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I got some great information here today.
We sure did. I'm so happy that you called. So happy that you called because you really made the conversation.
I'm happy. I think I'm happier.
Yes. If you don't mind, you can call my number and I can get your information and we can make some connections. So you can call my number. It's 828.
Well, are you sure you want to give that over the air?
Yeah. I don't care who calls me. I mean, it could be the president. I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind who calls me. No. Yeah. 828-316-8379. Okay, and that's Ophane is what everybody calls me, yes.
Okay, my name is Ocean, so just be mindful of that, and I'm going to give you a call within the next 2 days, and I would love to get some more books, and I would love to discuss with you guys my grandmother, native New Orleans, and I'll tell you about her, my dad. Well, we always knew, but my dad's people were from Madagascar. And I want to tell you about some of the things that she would do. Like, for example, when people would come to the house, my grandmother, and if there were people that she thought were bad people or they brought bad news or she didn't like them, before they got halfway down the street, she would get salt. She would sprinkle the salt in and around where they were on the floor, and then she would go out and she would sweep that salt out the front door, and then she would take a handful and sprinkle it around the entire house, and then she would face the door and throw the rest over her back. Can you tell me what that's for?
Well, you can also put a glass of water in the little corner crack of your door. When people come in and people leave, you can throw the water right out behind them. And if you hit them with it, that's okay.
Okay. What was she doing with the salt? What was she doing with the salt? I know now this is what she told me and my sister. She says when she throws it over her back, she says they generally don't come back for a very long time. And if they do come back, the attitude is much sweeter and they don't want to come in her house.
Okay.
Yeah, salt is used as a cutting agent, and it actually breaks certain kind of energy, because salt is, if you go and look up for any ancient lore, any ancient practices in their spirituality, you're going to find the use of salt. Anyone from north to south to east to west Africa.
Okay.
All over the world, even the Europeans, they use salt too. So you see, salt is very highly recommended. You always have to have salt in your house. Salt to do things like that. When people come and they come with that negative energy, you're like, okay. That's why people tell you go to the ocean and wash yourself in the ocean, because you wash away all of that stuff you pick up from everywhere with people,
That's it.
But it would be good if, the women can actually start coming together as our Falokun recommended in his article. He's one of the ways
that's
that
my
the women
purpose.
would fight against certain types of spiritual attacks and spells is by coming together and praying, chanting, meditating, and doing these type of rituals that actually reverse these type of energies. You see, that's what was being done in the days of Immaculate Conception. The women would harness energy. They would harness energy through incantations, through symbolism, just like how we do now when we work with spirits. If you don't have the right combination of symbols and the right combination of elements, you will not get that energy that you're looking for. You wouldn't pull it, you wouldn't be able to communicate it with it or nothing, because you don't have the right elements together. You don't have the right things, doing the right things to get it, to attract it.
That's the reason why I find it hard when I'm trying to turn the light bulb on for my godsons. When I be trying to, it's so hard for me to get them to understand how they have to work a little bit harder to get what that woman has when it comes to spirituality.
Yeah. Because we instinctively have it inside of us, whereas the man would have to work towards getting it. He has to work towards getting it.
And that's right. That black woman is the Magi. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. That's her. The Magi, the magical. They're talking about her, solar mama. That's who it is. It's the black woman. And when she gets together with her sisters and gives birth to babies, nobody else is allowed. They call it the mamisi, the birth house.
The mamisi.
Just like she gives birth to babies, she gives birth to ideas, food, prosperity, spirituality. She gives birth to joy.
Like they said, American Ifa was dead on arrival.
Okay. Wow. So listen to this now. I want to recommend one more book for that if you want to talk about women's compassions, women's feelings, and all of these things. One more book. And I have somebody raise their hand real quick. I'm going to bring them on after I say the book. This book is entitled Bodhisattva of Compassion, the mystical tradition of Kuan Yin. And even though it's coming from an Asian perspective, you got to get the book and look inside and see the black goddesses that they're talking about in this Asian deity, Kuan Yin, who is known as the goddess of compassion, the Bodhisattva of
black.
Compassion. Yes,
she was black. I can show you pictures.
Yes, most definitely.
Can you spell first? Can you spell that first one for me? Can you spell it? Is it B-U? B as in boy?
B, yes. B as in boy, O. D as in dangerous, H-I-S-A-T-V-A. Bodhisattva.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Bodhisattva
I'm going to show you. When I talk, I'll get you guys' email, and I'm going to send you pictures of these women, Angkor Wat, meaning the vagina, the twat, the storehouses. And I'm going to send you the pictures of these women smiling with braids. And when you look at their bodies and their lips, I mean, it's just, they try to make the women look like that now with the outfits and stuff, but you can tell they're African women. That forehead, those lips, that nose, Anyway, there's so much that we need to know about ourselves.
It's so much. But I want to make mention one of the very key aspects of this deity, Kuan Yin. and it happened. So I didn't learn about Kuan Yin through books at first. She came to me to manifest herself and show herself to me, and took me away just to show me what's going on with her. But Kuan Yin has a manifestation. They have so many different manifestations of her doing things, but she holds the vast, the Aquarian water jar, right? Of sweet dew, and of wish fulfilling gem. That anything you wish for, that this deity can. Oh wow! I don't even want to go into mother of creation, because that's who we are. We are mothers of creation. Period. Okay, let me bring this one person on, and then we're gonna. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm not seeing them anymore. Okay, so they left. I'm sorry, I didn't answer you soon enough. Okay, they called right back. Okay, area code 352. You're on True Talks with Ofe. 352.
Okay.
You raised your hand.
Yes. My apologies for coming in so late in the program. I just want to preface by saying I agree with everything being said on the program today. And I do appreciate the sister's input in terms of the historical aspect. Ocean, you're right on point with your history aspect. And I'd like to add one more book, if I may. Ancient Future by Wayne B. Yes, Ancient Future by Wayne B. Chandler.
Okay.
And it talks about the 7 principles of the universe. And in one of the principles of rhythm, it talks about how the patriarchal system came about, and verifying, of course, adding to that the historical books indicating the fact that matriarchal system was the original form of the earth, and the great mothers were in charge in a not only regional but a hemispheric aspect, that the women ruled in hemispheres, not just nations. And so I'd like to confirm that. Now, with that being said, may I please enter the sacred space and as a man make a question and input, please?
Okay.
I would like to ask you have commented. I'd like for the ears to please comment on the EMEs. And in terms of Ifa, you had mentioned briefly in regards to the reading of the year. I'd like you to kind of expand on that, if you can, and in the time remaining. But also, I'd like for you all to be able to. That's in regards to Odu. There is, there's so much talk about women not being able to, or not being capable of, or not having permission of. But could you please tell our listeners what Odu is that is indicated, or where Orunmila actually made that statement? I'd like some clarity on that, because it seems to me that a lot of the Babalaos are making statements without reference to Odu. Or are they? Could you please elaborate on that?
Well,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think a lot of the men Babalaos, they're getting stuck on Ofameji. Where Odu says she don't want nobody to see her. But, there's really there's a lot of things that's not there that people So you got to realize that people interpret what they hear differently.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say this, okay? Because everybody got to use common sense now, okay? But I see what happens in this religion a lot, in this way of life. What happens is this. One particular situation pertains to one person or one group of people, and then all of a sudden it becomes norm for everybody else. And that is not fair. That is not fair. And if you really go through that story with Odu, and he was talking to the women, she was talking about the women that were there, and because she wanted Oromila to pay her attention, because remember now, Odu was more older and wiser than Oromila.
Right. And it was the other wives that she didn't want to look at her.
Okay,
right.
So what that got to do with me and you?
Nothing.
Okay. You see, and people got to stop doing that and, open up their eyes, because I'm quite sure I have a BAJJ. I have one of those, and I surely do look at it and examine it to see how it looks. And I have daughters, and I surely did look at theirs. So what is it now? I'm not supposed to look at nothing that represents a womb of a woman?
Yeah.
Something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong.
It's like you said, using common sense, because, they can only say that. But the thing of it is, there's other Odus that says that they can't do a lot of things that they do. Like Ikafun said, you cannot give what you don't have. So a lot of the Babalaos are giving things that they don't have the ashe. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have it to give, but they do. So,
that's it's
like do
show,
as I say and not as I do. It's one of those.
Another show. It's just that, the big problem with this is that they're saying that women are incomplete, unable to initiate other women or initiate men especially, because they don't have that rites of passage for Odu. But then on the same hand, they're telling you, you have it already in you, so you don't need it. That's double standard. That's like a catch-22. What the hell are we supposed to do? Can we get it or can we
another catch in this? You got 2.5 million men that have been initiated to Ifa over so many years, and Odu was not even present in their initiation. So what are you telling me?
Okay, yeah, and that's because, but then they still try to put those men above the women, because then the men are getting all the the women are being kept out of the room. I mean, I know people are still doing that. They wouldn't even, you take somebody there because you're the mother. You say, okay, I'm bringing my child here for you, and, to get Ifa, whatever, and then they shut the door and tell her wait outside. So she don't know what the hell going on behind the door of the child that she brought there. That is some BS. By my words, we're talking to you. Stop it. Stop all those male systems that don't have nothing to do with Ifa. Stop it.
Stop. I agree. They need to stop. They need to stop.
Stop giving women 1 and 2 ikin in their kofa. Stop doing that. Give the whole gamut. All of you Cubans that doing it, talking about that's Dukumi style, change it, because it's no good. Just like how you invented it in the first place. Change it back to the original thing, what it's supposed to be. Because
they did, because the women already have power, and they didn't want the women to have power. They did that because the women already had power.
Yeah, because then you have to go to them when you want to find out anything. You can't even.
Right.
It's
called control. It's still control. It's still control.
If you read with 16, you can. What cause you only have to have 2? That is some BS, I'm telling you.
Yes.
You see? So all of these things, that is the problem. I mean, last time we brought up the issue about Orisha Odun in our groups, I mean, the world of Babalawos trying to come down on our head.
God.
Oh, you're beating a dead horse.
And we're not telling people, we're not telling women to go look inside their husband's pot of Odu. That's if he got it. If he got it, no, we're not saying that.
And my sister, can I say this? Women need to stop eating seedless fruit. It is not good for you.
True. I say.
I
say.
Yeah, I don't like seedless.
That's true.
So
it's like the fruit has no womb.
The Iyami's, they have now the Iyami's. Iyami, Orisha Odu are the same person.
Oh, they're going to tell you, no, that is not true. Iyami is this is that, and Orisha Odu is that, and blah, 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 blah. And they themselves don't know what it is, because how can they know they're not a woman? They don't know. They don't know, because they're not a woman. So they would never know.
True.
Okay?
That's why I said men will never know the secret of creation. See, men will never know the secret of creation because they didn't see the face of God.
Okay?
That's how come they can change God to a he, from a she to a he. But gentlemen, God wear high heels. She wears stilettos. Let's get it straight. Okay? But God gave the authority and the power to the Iyamis over the Orishas. And where are the Orishas at?
Well, my ladies, and one beautiful man that's in between the midst of us. And that is good, We have come to the end of our program, and I'd like to thank. I mean, we can continue talking, but we're not going to air. We're not going to air, But I'd like to thank Ocean and Ayaba Oshabi for being here and making this episode really interesting. An interesting discussion, and I'd like to continue.
I agree. We need to have more of these. We need to have more of these. Yeah, we need to have more of these.
Oh yes, because we got to get into like womb healing and all of this type of stuff where women, know they can do certain things. Even the thing we could do a whole session about cleaning, about how to clean your body, your environment, and even to
and
clean
we can
other
do a
people.
whole thing on EMEs.
That's right. So for our next episode, we're looking in that direction for as of now. I'd like to thank you both and thank the listening audience for tuning in.
Thank you.
True Talk with Ofe. See you next week, Sunday, if not before. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. Adupeo.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.